Good morning.
So good afternoon, students. In last class, we have to discuss regarding to the different types of clusters, well-separated clusters, prototype-based clusters, graph-based clusters, density-based clusters, and shared property clusters. So these are the clusters, different types of clusters we have to use in cluster analysis. Those concepts we have to discuss in last class. Now, in these clusters, mainly we have to use the three types of algorithms we have to use in a cluster analysis. First one is the k-means algorithm. Here we have to use in the cluster analysis k-means, agglomerative hierarchical clustering and dbSCAN clustering clustering techniques. We have clustering algorithms we have to use in cluster analysis. So here, already in last class, we have to discuss what is the well separated, what is the center based clusters, what is the contiguity of based clusters, density based clusters, conceptual clusters. So these are all concepts we have completed in last class. Now, in today's class, regarding to the k-means algorithm, in the k-means algorithm, mainly we have the 5 points. One is the select the k points as initial centroids and repeat from k clusters by assigning each point to the closest centroid and recompute the centroid for each cluster. So you can do with that until centroids do not change. So you can process it like this. See this. This is the algorithm for the K-means algorithm. Select the K points as the initial centroids. Repeat from the K clusters by assigning each point to its closest centroid, and recompute the centroid for the each cluster until centroids do not change. So in last class, we shown that diagram regarding to this K-means algorithm for the regarding to the centroids. So one cluster data point you have to, based on that centroid, it will be shifted to the another cluster. So this is the K-means algorithm we have to apply for the different clusters. So see here another example I will show you. So here this is the regarding to the cluster analysis using the K-means algorithm. First one is the iteration 1 and iteration 2, and iteration 3 and iteration 4. So in all 4 iterations, see here first iteration. So which one is the clusters? Here we have the circles and the triangles are there. The data points we have to represent it, and circles, triangles, and squares. So you have to represent it. So based on that centroid, so the value automatically you have to change it for the one iteration to another iteration. So here we have the see here. So this is the here we have the circles, but after centroid, whenever you have to calculate it, these are the values you have to convert it into triangles. So like this way, based on the iterations, the centroid of the clusters, based on that centroid, the data points we have to change in one cluster to another cluster. So this is regarding to that K-means algorithm to finding the 3 clusters in sample data. Next one is the how to assigning the points to the closest centroid. First, for example, an object we have to consider the x and see ith cluster. Whenever you have to consider the centroid of the cluster C of I, the center of the all points we have to represent it with the C, and small mi, that is the number of objects in the ith cluster, and small m represents the number of objects in the data set, and capital K represents the number of clusters. So this is regarding to that axing the points to the closest centroid. To assigning a point to the closest centroid as a proximity of measure that quantifies the notation of the closest for the specific data under consideration. So here Euclidean L2 distance is often used for the data points in Euclidean space, while cosine similarity is more appropriate for the documents. Example, Mahatin L1 distance can be used for the Euclidean data, while Jacquard measure is often employed for the documents. So here, based on that, bisecting the K-means algorithm, you have to use the speeding up of the this K-means algorithm. You can use the bisecting the K-means is the another approach. You have to speed up the K-means by reducing the number of similarities computed. So మనం ఎక్కడైతే similarities ఉన్నాయో we have to reduce those similarities. We have to reduce the K-means algorithm. You have to speed up. That is regarding to that K-means algorithm. What is the centroids and object functions? Centroids and objective functions in step 4, that is the K-means algorithm is stated rather generally. Recompute the centroid of the each cluster. So first one is the already in the K-means algorithm you have the 5 steps. Out of 5 steps, first one is the K points as initial centroids. So initial centroids you have to represent the K, and then you have to use the loop, that is the repeat from K clusters by assigning each point to its closest centroid. సో ఏదైతే మనకి డేటా పాయింట్స్ నియరెస్ట్ ఉంటుందో సెంట్రాయిడ్ కి, సో దట్ ఓన్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు కన్సిడర్ హియర్. సో whenever you have to centroid is change, automatically you have to recompute the centroid of each cluster. So automatically again you have to recompute. అంటే ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్ గా ఫస్ట్ క్లస్టర్ లో 10 పాయింట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, 10 data points, whereas in the second cluster you have the 11 data points are there, and third cluster you have the 12 data points are there. So but one data point are that is the second data cluster data point is closest to the cluster 1. So automatically this whenever you have to compute this centroid for that centroid for the cluster 1, so that value whenever you have to closest to that data point to the cluster 1, so that only we have to consider. Now we have to recompute, and actually we have the data point in cluster 2 that is shifted to the cluster 1, that is the recompute the centroid for each cluster until centroids do not change. So completely you can perform all the centroids and calculate it. Finally do not change any data points are there in the 3 clusters. So that only we have to represent it as k-means algorithm. So finally that is the recomputing the centroid of each cluster, that is simply you can represent centroids and objective functions. Generally here we have to take the 2 examples. The key point is the once the key point is once we have the specified proximity measure and objective function, the centroid that we should choose can often be determined mathematically. We can provide the mathematical details and provide the non-mathematical discussions as given below. Data in Euclidean space and data in Euclidean space and documented data. So these all things you have to discuss. First one is the data in Euclidean space. Consider data whose proximity measure in Euclidean distance for our objective function, which measures the quality of the clustering. We use the sum of the squared error, that is the simply call it as SSC, which is also known as scatter. So scatter, we calculate the error for each data point, its Euclidean distance to the closest centroid, and then compute the total sum of squared errors. Given 2 different sets of clusters that are produced by 2 different runs of the k-means, we prefer the one with the smallest squared error, since this means that the prototype is of this clustering or a better presentation of the points in their cluster. See the formula for this acting points and the closest cluster. See this formula, that is the SSC summation of I to 1 to k, I equal to 1 to k, summation of x belongs to C of I, distance of a bit, that is the distance we have to calculate, that is centroid, C of I comma x whole square. Distance is simply you can say that standard Euclidean distance between the 2 objects in Euclidean space. That is simply you can represent it with the L2. So here we have the 3 assumptions. These assumptions we can shown that the centroid minimize the SSC of the cluster in the is mean. So formula for this centroid of the mean, you can find out the ith cluster given equation. So by C of I equal to 1 by m of I, summation of x belongs to C of I of x. So here you have to calculate it, the centroid of the cluster containing the 3 2-dimensional points, that is the 1 1. See here, this is the value we have to calculate in the cluster 2-dimensional, that is the See here, this is the two-dimensional points 1, 1, 2, 3, and 6, 2. That is the three-dimensional, two-dimensional points, three two-dimensional points. Now we have to calculate the centroid for the cluster 1 plus 2 plus 6. That is the first x value you have to calculate it. That is a summation of those x values. 1 plus 2 plus 6. That is a 9 by 3. And comma, and one more thing, second one is y axis values 1, 3, 2. So 1 plus 3 plus 2, that is the 6 by 3, that is 2. So now the final centroid value is 3 comma 2, that is the x value is 3, y value is. These are the steps, steps 3 and 4 of the k-means algorithm directly attempt to the minimize of the SSC. Step 3 forms cluster 2 by assigning the points their nearest centroid, which minimize the SSC for the given set of centroids. Step 4 recomputes the centroids further minimize the SSC. Finally, the actions of k-means in step 3 and step 4 only guaranteed to find the local minimum with respect to the SSC, optimizing the SSC with the specific choice of the centroids. And completely we have to find out the centroid of the given points. So here we have the three data points are there. This is regarding to that k-means data points. You have to find out the centroid for the each cluster. And now we can discuss with that document data. Document data you have to calculate it with the total cohesion of the given data. If the summation of I equal to 1 to k, x belongs to C of I, we can calculate it with the cosine function, cosine of x comma C of I. So here we can use the proximity functions, 4 types of proximity functions. Those functions are, first one is the Mahatin function L1 and squared Euclidean function, that is L2, and the third one is the cosine function you have to use, and the fourth one is the Benjamin divergence functions. These are the 4 types of proximity functions we have to use it in the k-means algorithm. And what is the centroid? Generally, whereas in you have to use the Mahatin function, that time you have to use the median value, and the remaining all centroids you have to consider the mean only. That is the major differences between the proximity functions of the k-means algorithm. So here, see here, I will show the what is the proximity function, what is the centroid. We will consider here. See here, this is the regarding to this one. This is the table which shows k-means algorithm, the common choices for the proximity and centroid and objective function. So in the proximity functions, mainly you have to, in the k-means algorithm, you have to use the 4 types of proximity functions you have to use. One is the Mahatin, and second one is the squared Euclidean, and third one is the cosine, and the fourth one is the Benjamin Bergman divergence. So here, in first case only, we have to consider the centroid as taken as a median value, and the remaining three cases we have to consider the mean only. What are the objective functions of each one? Mahathir, you have to minimize sum of the L1 and the distance of the object or to its cluster, the centroid. And whereas squared Euclidean minimize the sum of the squared L2 distance of an object to its cluster centroid. And cosine maximize the sum of the cosine similarity of an object to its cluster centroid. And Bergman divergence minimize the sum of the Bergman divergence object to its cluster centroid. So this is regarding to that K-means algorithm proximity functions and centroids and its objective function. First one, how to choosing the initial centroids. So here we have the generally you have to represent the three optimal non-optimal clusters. You have to use what are the optimal clusters, what is the suboptimal clusters, and what are the poor starting centroids for the K-means, and what are the two pairs of the pair of the initial centroids for each pair of clusters. Two pairs of the clusters with more and fewer than the two initial centroids with the pair of clusters. So here this is the related to the optimal and suboptimal, and similar way you can represent the poor starting centroids for the K-means. Now I will show the diagrams related to this optimal and suboptimal. So these are the three optimal clustering and suboptimal clustering. So in optimal clustering, we have the three. Here we have to use three clusters. That is the one is that related to the triangles are the one cluster, and squares is taken as another cluster, and circles as taken as another cluster. That is optimal clustering. Suboptimal clustering, again you have to consider the some of the triangles you have to convert into triangles, that is a square. That is you have to consider as circles, and the remaining you have to represent it as squares. So this is the suboptimal clustering. See, this is the poor standing centroids for that K-means. Based on centroids, we have to represent it here. Time and space complexities. Time and space complexities, the space requirements for the K-means is modest because only the data points and centroids are stored. Specifically, the storage required order of m plus k of n, where m is the number of points and n is the number of attributes. The time requirements for the K-means is also modest, basically linear the more number of data points. What is the time complexity of this K-means algorithm is order of I into k into m into n. I represents the number of iterations, and simply you can represent it as m is the representative number of points, and k is the number of clusters. So this is the way you have to represent the, and you have to find out the time complexity of it. Cluster analysis. Next one is the what are the additional issues. So here we have to use the additional issues related to the handling of empty clusters, outliers, reducing the SSC with the pre-processing, and updating centroids incrementally. These are the additional issues you have to use in a K-means algorithm. So all are splitting the cluster and introducing the new cluster centroid and disperse the cluster, merge two clusters. These all we have to represent it as an additional issue. Next one is the bisecting the k-means. How to bisect the k-means algorithm? Here you have to bisect the k-means algorithm. We have to use the totally 10 steps, but whereas in a k-means algorithm you have the 5 steps only. But whereas in here bisecting the k-means algorithm, it has the 10 steps. Initialize the list of clusters that contain the cluster consisting of all points. Remove the cluster from the list of clusters. Perform the several trial bisections of the chosen cluster. For I equal to 1 to the number of trials 2, bisect the selected cluster using basic k-means. And for selecting the two clusters from the bisection with the lowest total of SSE, and these two clusters to the list of the clusters until the list of the clusters containing k clusters. That is simply you can see by using this algorithm, you can bisect the k-means initialization and uh, bisecting the k-means on 4 cluster examples. I will show the diagrams related to the bisecting. See here, this is the bisecting. So in the first iteration, you have the all are related to the that is triangles and square and circles. So circles are divided into two parts. Again, two parts. Again, similar way, triangles are divided into two parts. So now you have to applying the means algorithm. So which one is the nearest to that centroid? That only you have to consider and convert it here. So which is centroid is more, that only we have to take the another data points, another cluster we have to represent it. That is the circles with that triangle and square. Like this way, you have two iterations. You can find out the bisecting k-means of different clusters. And k-means and different types of clusters, and what are the strengths and weaknesses, the original points. What are the strengths and weaknesses? K-means is simple and can be used for the wide variety of data types. It is also quite efficient, even though multiple runs are often performed. Some variants, including the bisecting k-means, even more efficient, less respectable initialization problem. See these diagrams, k-means with the cluster with the different size, k-means with the clusters of different density, and k-means with the non-global globular clusters. And you have to represent it as another one is the unequal sizes and unequal densities and non-spherical shapes. So these all are related to the using k-means for to finding the clusters and subclusters of the natural clusters. So finally, the k-means as the optimization problem. You can find out the optimization problem here. Derivation of k-means with the algorithm with the minimized SSC. SSC equal to the summation of I equal to 1 to k with the x belongs to summation of x belongs to C of I. C of I minus x whole square. By using that formula, you can find out that SSC centroid for the minimizing the SSC of the cluster and mean of the points in the cluster. What is the derivation of the k-means of SCE? that is the absolute errors you can find out with SCI equal to summation of I2 1 to k and the x belongs to C of I. Distance L1 C of I comma x. So by using this formula, you can find out the deviations of k means of SCI. Agglomerative hierarchy clustering. In agglomerative hierarchy clustering, mainly you have to represent with that. Start with the points. Start with the points and individual clusters. And each step merge with the closest pair of clusters. This requires the defining a notation of cluster proximity. Divisive, start with the one all exclusive clusters, and at each step split a cluster until only singleton clusters of different points remaining. In this case, we need to decide whether which cluster to split each step and how to do the splitting. Agglomerative hierarchical clustering is the techniques are by far most common, and this focus exclusively on these methods. The hierarchical clustering is often displayed graphically using the tree-like diagram called dendrogram, simply which displays the both cluster and subcluster relationship and the order in which the clusters were merged or split. Merging means simply call it as agglomerative, and splitting means divisive view. Simply you can understand. On the basic of agglomerative clustering, with the sample data we have to represent it with single links. We'll continue next class with that the basics agglomerative hierarchical clustering algorithm. Once you have to complete this algorithm, then you have the complete the DB scan algorithm. So in the k-means algorithm, mainly we have to discuss one is the k-means algorithm and how to apply the k-means algorithm, and the second one is the bisecting k-means algorithm. These are the two algorithms we have to discuss in today class. We continue in next class with that agglomerative algorithm, and second one is the DB scanner. Thank you.